You were posted in Bangladesh, so I'm going to ask you about Bangladesh. When you see what's happening out there, does it really shock you to see how it spiraled out of control once Sheikh Hasina left? Or were there signs you were seeing that this was going to happen?
See, Bangladesh is a very sensitive issue, and it's not as amenable to discussion as the American situation because they are a very sensitive set of people.
Yeah.
But, your question can be answered at many, many levels. Of course, it is what is happening in the last 1 year is something which is, I wouldn't say unforeseen, but it is very serious. Now, I know that if there are Bangladeshis who are watching this, they will completely disagree. And it depends which Bangladeshis, because Bangladesh is not a uniform, homogeneous society. It's splintered across political lines and so many fault lines in that society. So it just depends who you talk to. But if you talk to those people who today control power or are close to power, they will completely refute what I'm saying. And they're saying, this is the golden period of Bangladesh because we have now attained freedom from the Hasina rule. We are now inventing ourselves. We are now finding our true calling and a true the society is now coming into its own. So it depends who you talk to. As far as I am concerned, I've lived there. I have lived there for many, many years. I have lots of friends, still in touch with them. My son was born in Dhaka, by the way. So, and I've lived at times which were very bad during the period of General Ershad, another dictator. Bad time for India. We were not considered friends. So I know what it feels like. And so we have seen the swings in Bangladesh. Again, depending on who is the ruling dispensation. So we've seen the swings from Ziaur Rahman to Ershad to Khaleda Zia to Hasina. And every dispensation, the commonality of all of them is the axiom that the winner takes all, that if you are in control, there is no concept of an opposition, there is no concept of inclusivity, that if you're there, this is yours to grab. And that includes foreign policy. And so what is happening today, in addition to this kind of a tendency, is the fact that I don't think anyone is really in control of what is going on. So you have disparate groups who have mushroomed, and now as time goes by, their different interests are coming into play. So the students have a certain set of interests, the Islamists have a certain set, the established political parties, the BNP and Awami, have a certain set of interests, the army has a certain set of interests, and of course finally the bureaucracy. And then of course you have the intelligentsia and the media and so on. So it is not as if you are seeing some kind of a national consensus. Frankly, I would wish them well because I have always believed that it's important for us as India to have a Bangladesh which is at peace with itself. But what I'm finding today is that there is a lot of tension between these groups. There is a very high degree of lawlessness. I mean, they won't agree, but it is true by objective observers. You're getting very close to mob rule. And I only hope that they can actually have an election in February. In February. And it is inclusive, free and fair. Not because I'm saying it, but because they themselves say it.
The army wants an election, right? Does Muhammad Yunus actually, will he deliver on an election? He can't without the army being on board.
Oh yeah.
Either way.
The only functioning institution today is the army.
Bangladesh army.
Is the army. There's no one else. The police, the administration, the judiciary, they're all very badly compromised. So I think this vacuum which is there has been sensed very early on by the Islamists because they are the only organized force, much more than the students or the BNP. And they are untested, relatively speaking. So they regard themselves as those men on white horses who can come untested, pure, who can actually come and set things right. So the Islamists, 4-5 of them, feel that this is a moment for them to actually emerge and to challenge even the BNP, because the BNP also is steeped in all kinds of controversies, and their record is far from good in terms of governance. You talk of corruption, you talk of nepotism, you talk of all the ills of governance. In fact, there is very little to choose, I would say, between the BNP and the Awami.
Okay.
Because the BNP is also family-led.
Awami minus Sheikh Hasina, you mean?
Well, Awami minus Sheikh Hasina is a very new phenomenon.
Yeah.
We have yet to understand what it will be and what it is.
Too fragmented now to figure out, right?
Because the established parties were led by the two ladies. So it's
The
very
Begums.
interesting.
Huh.
She was the widow of Ziaur Rahman. The party was born in the cantonment.
Yeah.
Her son had to run away and was rather forced to leave in 2007 or 8 or something. The other side, father was Sheikh Mujib. The whole family was assassinated. One daughter or two daughters luckily escaped. One took over the mantle. But there is no ready succession. So we have two powerful families, and their personal animosity is very sharp and has played out and has actually in many ways held the country to ransom.
True.
In the middle of all this, the Jamaat has emerged. And now, of course, the students have come. But the Jamaat has emerged and has survived despite everything in the last 50 years. But today, it sees its moment of being able to participate in the election and also occupy many more seats than probably it has ever done in its entire history. So we are, I think, at a new stage in Bangladesh of which we know very little. Which way this will turn, which way this will go is something we yet have to see. It's very difficult to predict what will actually happen.
Whether the BNP or Ziaur Rahman or Irshad, none of them had this, they did lean pro-Pakistan as compared to Awami League, but they didn't do this free visa and to have army chief from Pakistan coming in.
Some of it is
What is this?
No, some of it is a reaction to the Hasina period when she had cut off the Pakistanis completely. I mean, she had started getting them back in the last few years, but in her initial period, she had cut them off completely. So this is a reaction to doing, or the instinct to overturn whatever she did.
But like you have Asim Munir saying we'll attack you from the east.
Yeah.
Clearly from Bangladesh is what he's trying to hint.
So again, so the past is a good lesson. If we go back to the Khalida Zia years of 2001 to 6, where Bangladesh effectively was handed over to the ISI, the Northeast was in big trouble. We were in trouble. Now, if they want to go back to those days, this time around we've learned our lessons also. And we're not going to sit back and watch.
Okay.
Just because we're not talking or making loud statements doesn't mean that we don't know or that we are not preparing ourselves. We've learned our lessons. We've drawn a lot of lessons. So this time around, if someone wants to replay that book, I can assure you that we're not going to take it lying down. The only thing is that we are not going to kind of talk about it or tom-tom about it, but anyone will know that if you want to play that again, you will have consequences.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा.
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है.
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दें?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब.
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप.
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI. It does not lie.